Once upon a time, in a vibrant and lush jungle, lived a parrot named Pedro. Pedro was a stunning bird, with feathers as green as the forest leaves and a beak that gleamed like the morning sun. He was known for his ability to mimic sounds and loved being the center of attention. Pedro lived in a cozy nest high up in a mango tree. His best friend was a toucan named Tito, who had a magnificent beak that everyone admired. Tito was always cheerful and loved to share stories of his adventures, and the other animals would gather around to listen. One sunny day, Tito returned from a journey with a new story to tell. The jungle animals gathered around, eager to hear about Tito's adventures. Pedro sat quietly on a branch, feeling a twinge of jealousy. Everyone seemed more interested in Tito and his tales, and Pedro felt overshadowed. As Tito began his story, Pedro couldn't help but interrupt. "Oh, Tito, your stories are nice, but have you ever heard me mimic the sound of a waterfall?" Pedro said, trying to draw attention back to himself. Tito smiled kindly. "That sounds wonderful, Pedro. Please, share it with us." Pedro fluffed his feathers and mimicked the soothing sound of a waterfall. The animals clapped and cheered, but soon after, they returned their attention to Tito's story. Pedro's jealousy grew stronger. Over the next few days, Pedro tried everything to steal the spotlight. He sang beautiful songs, performed clever tricks, and even mimicked the sounds of other animals. But no matter what he did, the jungle animals always seemed to return to Tito's enchanting stories. One evening, Pedro was feeling particularly down. He perched on a low branch, watching Tito surrounded by their friends. "Why does everyone love Tito's stories more than my mimicking?" Pedro thought sadly. Seeing Pedro alone, Tito flew over and perched beside him. "Pedro, is something bothering you?" Tito asked gently. Pedro sighed. "It's just, everyone loves your stories so much. I feel like I'm not as interesting or important." Tito looked at Pedro with understanding eyes. "Pedro, your mimicking is amazing and unique. You have a talent that no one else in the jungle has. It's not about being the center of attention, it's about sharing our gifts and making others happy." Pedro thought about Tito's words and realized he had been so focused on his jealousy that he forgot the joy his mimicking brought to others. He decided to embrace his talent and be happy for Tito's storytelling skills. The next day, Pedro approached Tito with a new idea. "Tito, what if we combine our talents? You tell your stories, and I'll add sound effects with my mimicking." Tito's eyes lit up. "That's a fantastic idea, Pedro. Let's try it." That evening, the jungle animals gathered again. Tito began his story, and Pedro added sound effects, mimicking the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the roar of a waterfall. The animals were thrilled, and their laughter and applause echoed through the jungle. Pedro realized that working together and appreciating each other's talents made everything more fun and enjoyable. He no longer felt jealous, but proud to be part of something special with his best friend. From that day on, Pedro and Tito became the jungle's favorite duo. Their stories and sound effects brought joy to everyone, and Pedro learned the value of friendship and collaboration. And so, Pedro the parrot and Tito the toucan continued to entertain the jungle with their unique talents, proving that when friends work together, they can create something truly magical.